My mother raised me in church. She raised me in church, and I know the way, I know the path, but yet I strayed from it because of a lot of things that was going on in my life. And I'd always hear Mommy talk about going to the jail ministry, and I used to ask her, Mom, how do you go down there to the jail ministry and tell somebody that God can help them and they can live a better life, and their life is so messed up like this? You don't know how they're living. You don't understand what it... I couldn't tell my mom that, first of all, that her own daughter was an addict. I couldn't bring myself to tell my mom that. And I used to try to question Mommy in a roundabout way that she wouldn't understand what... I didn't want her to know that I was an addict. So I was questioning her, why do you go to the jail, and how can you help these girls that are addicts, that are alcoholics? Back then, more what they dealt with was more alcoholic and that sort of thing. But and as the years and the time went by, I wanted to know God for myself. 20 years had went by from the time I'd left here, and 20 years as a drug addict. I knew of God, but I never knew God. My whole life I never knew God. I knew of Him. Heard all the stories, but I never knew Him. You believe in what you're doing, that it's okay. You know, it's okay. I'm not hurting anybody, and what I'm doing is, it's just my choice. I have a right to do what I want to do. I have a right to do this. I have a right to go in here, and my kids are hungry. I have a right to go steal. I have to do this. And you hear that a lot. You do, and you feel justified in what you say and what you do and what you get involved in. When I come to know He was real, He wasn't a fairy tale. I remember the first time my thought, this is real. God is real. This ain't no fairy tale story, a little Wonderland story here. This is absolutely real. God does set free. Your heart can change. Your emotions can come into, you can get a grip of your life when everything around you seems like it's falling apart. Your mind can't stay together. Your thoughts can't stay together. You can't think. There's no reasoning. You can't bring nothing together in your life. But when I found, well, wait a minute. Let me say it this way. When God found me and I surrendered my life to Him, that's when everything started changing for me. I had to want it. I mean, for years I'd say I wanted. I wanted things to be different, but I didn't want to change my lifestyle. I didn't want to change I wanted to hold on to all of these walls that I had built up around me, my protection. And I wanted to hang on to that. I wanted God to help me, but I didn't want to let go of a lot of things in my life. You can't hang on to one thing. If you try to hold on to one area of your life, it's not going to work. That's what changes people. It's the Spirit. It's nothing that within ourselves that we can do or say. I can go every day down here at Tuesday, but if I go down here and just fellowship with them and never give them the Word of God, they're not going to change. It's the Word that changes the person. It's the Word of God that changes the person. I said, I would love to know what it's like to be able, one, to lay down at night and sleep and wake up the next morning in your right mind. The body's not going crazy. You're not jerking. The mind's not working overtime. And that go, 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 go feeling. Everything's falling apart around you. Your body's just, mind, spirit, soul, everything's just falling apart around you. I said, God, for once, I said, I want to know what it's like to lay down at night in peace and wake up in peace. Just show me, God, what it's like. Just, if you just give me one time, just take me back. And you know, that night I lay down after I had surrendered my heart to the Lord. I went to bed that night, went sound asleep, slept like a baby. Got up the next morning, never was sick. The reason I wasn't delivered of it then is because I didn't give it up. You know how I heard them say one time, God doesn't deliver you from your enemy. God does not deliver you from your friend. Your drug's got to be your enemy. God set me free of a drug addiction, 20-year drug addiction. When I got saved, you can and you will become a new creation if you will surrender it to God. But here's the thing, you got to surrender first. And then when you surrender it and you give up, you take your hands off of it. You know, it's just like two people in here trying to bake a cake. You can't do it. You know, you can't have two hands in that bowl going there. It just ain't going to work. You got to take your hands off and give it to God. And then when you surrender it all over to God, He takes it. Without the heart changing, people are not going to change.